Press a finger against your right nostril and breathe in through the left. Now swap over. One of those was easier. Right now, one of your nostrils is doing most of the work, and the other one is basically off duty.
Mine's the left. Is that bad? Am I blocked?
You're fine. In a couple of hours, they'll trade places, and you won't feel a thing. Your nose has been working shifts all day, every day, and almost nobody is ever told. It's called the nasal cycle, and it has been in the medical literature since 1895, when a German physician named Richard Kaiser measured the airflow through each nostril and caught the two sides taking turns.
1895. So why isn't this on page 1 of every biology textbook?
Because it's invisible. That's the clever part, and we'll get to it. First, the mechanism, and this is the bit that gets everyone. Inside each side of your nose are curled shelves of bone called turbinates, and they are wrapped in erectile tissue, spongy tissue, laced with blood vessels that swells when it fills with blood.
Erectile tissue in my nose.
Same trick, different address. One side quietly floods and swells, narrowing that airway down. The other side drains, shrinks back, and opens up. A few hours later, they swap.
Okay, so why can't I feel that happening?
Partly because the two sides tend to cover for each other. A lot of the time, as one closes down, the other opens up. So the total amount of air you're moving only drifts. And partly because we are genuinely bad at reading our own noses. In one study of 1,000 patients, about 1 in 6 had it backwards. The side that felt blocked to them was measurably the more open one. The inside of your nose transforms, and your breathing feels identical. The only way to catch it is to test one nostril at a time, which is exactly what you just did. In 2016, a team recorded 33 volunteers' nostrils continuously for a full 24 hours each. Every single person cycled. The average landed at around 2 hours, but the spread was wild. A quarter of an hour at one end, 10.5 hours at the other. And the whole thing slows right down while you sleep.
So there's no neat schedule. Every nose is on its own rota. Who is actually flipping the switch?
Not you. This is the autonomic nervous system, the automatic department that also runs your heartbeat and your pupils. The orders reach your nose along the sympathetic nerves in your neck, and if you numb those nerves on one side, that nostril swells up on its own. Nobody has found the master clock yet. The leading suspect is the hypothalamus, deep in the brain.
Fine, but why? What is the point of running half a nose?
The best answer we have is maintenance. Fast-moving air dries things out, and the lining of your nose has to stay wet to work. The mucus and the microscopic airs that sweep dust and germs back out of you. So the busy side takes all the traffic, while the resting side, with almost nothing moving through it, gets to re-wet its lining and catch up on the cleaning. Then they trade, before either side is worn out.
So it isn't half blocked, it's half in the workshop.
That is exactly what it is. And there's a bonus. In 1999, researchers at Stanford showed that the fast nostril and the slow nostril are tuned to different smells. Some scent molecules get picked up best by quick-moving air. Others need a slow, lingering draft. So each nostril hands your brain a slightly different version of the same room. And because the cycle keeps swapping them over, that room can smell subtly different at breakfast than it does at lunch.
I've been smelling in stereo this whole time and nobody mentioned it?
Now, the party trick. Lie on your side, and the nostril near the pillow congests, while the top one opens up. That is why you roll over at 3 in the morning, and suddenly you can breathe again.
That is exactly what happens. I thought I was imagining it.
It's a reflex, and it doesn't need a bed. In one experiment, researchers simply pressed on the armpits of 60 volunteers, and the nostril on that same side measurably narrowed. Squeeze one side of the body, narrow one side of the nose. One more, and it's my favorite. You were not born with this. Most newborns show no cycle at all. It switches on somewhere in childhood. About half of 3 to 6-year-olds have it, and roughly 8 in 10, 7 to 10-year-olds. Then, late in life, it fades and gets less regular again.
Nobody teaches your nose to work shifts. It just starts.
Here's the honest part. The what is not in doubt. Measure enough people for long enough and just about everyone cycles. The why is still argued over. Humidity, defense, smell, and a link to bigger body rhythms all have their supporters. In 2018, a review that went through 123 papers on it put that bluntly, saying our understanding of the nasal cycle is still, and I quote, very poor.
something your body does every single day, and we're not sure what it's for.
So next time one nostril feels stuffy, before you blame a cold, check the other one. If that side is clear, nothing is wrong with you. That is just a late shift clocking in.
Test it right now and tell us in the comments, left or right. Then come back in a couple of hours and check again, because it will have changed.
It will have changed. Until then, stay curious. If you enjoyed that, subscribe for more and stay curious.